it's great to be here and watch the trains going by, because I live and drive now, and I think of all the places I could go on them trains. It used to be the Flying Scotsman, you know, when I first come here. It wasn't always, sometimes it was a mallard. Aye. I've been thinking about shifting communities, you know, like these refugees. And I'd like to know a recitation about, in a very different kind of way, the mining communities shifted. And a lot of them, I mean, they were always on the move, looking for different places, different jobs. But when the pit shut, that's it. And you had to go to Nottingham, you had to go to Stoke, as I found when I was doing some gigs there. A lot of people in Stoke. Scottish miners came down here and all. There's about an old miner at High Spen. And I used to go across, when I lived in Woodleyton Mill, over the hilltop, to have a pint or two, till I was worried about falling off my motorbike at the Excelsior Club at High Spen. Because when we trained, before you were allowed to go underground, there was 16 weeks training in another colliery where they had a rundown part of an old colliery usually. And you had to learn to do all underground and surface things. And the 100 of us in the training for those 16 weeks often spread across the coalfield, although that was in Northumberland and Bedlington. And some of us are greater. When they got on and they got on to piecework or whatever they did, would meet up, and some of us did. And now and again I got a phone call from Maris that had moved to Durham. And so we agreed we'd pop into the Excelsior Club and have a pint or two and see what the Durham pits were like, and the crack, as always. And very sadly, I don't know whether sadly or not, they're going to knock the Excelsior Club down now. About 17 years ago I had my birthday there. I remember the 70th, and we had a grand night. I think we did. Well, it was the funniest birthday I ever had, because we had a great night and everybody went happily down the road with lifts. And me and my lass were left to walk home. Mine had some of the salmon left that they didn't have. And a bottle of whiskey to finish. Anyway, the Excelsior Club, as many clubs do, went into disuse. And so finally, the Labour Council member for our bits has said that they're going to, because it's an eyesore. Well, it's a terrible thing when you're an old man in a women's club and you're an eyesore. Anyway, there's a lot of them left. So this was an old man I met in the club when I was cracking with him one time. And I never thought I would come to live in the village of High Spen, but I do. I've been there for, well, a while, 20, 25, 30 years now. An old man was made redundant. And so he was living in the village, in the pit house, and they were going to move him to somewhere like Chesley Street, where there are vacancies for old people in old people's homes. And he was very distressed about this. And we got cracking and he started talking about the pit. And it was quite a long conversation. And he was going to be moved from his curry house to a community he didn't know. And a lot came out in that distress. And then I found, which was not in the poem, later, that he actually managed to get a pit, old people's home in the village. So he was amongst the community again. But it tells about all the things he spoke about. Now the pit's gone, grey stones flattened, shale and bricks laid low. Where's all the shifts and footsteps to the pit, love and hate, but it's work we used to know. Playing in the village, terraces and rows, plankers, bits of sticks, or what toys, dirty back lanes and scrambles down the heap, pit village, pit folk, pit boys. Cracked, aged faces and old wheezing lungs, stories of places now dead, tales of big heroes, and ghosts in the seam, now they lie on me heart like lead. Patterns in the dust, drawn with walking sticks, of drifts and seams, aye, of sweated blood, and telling of the warren that's still down below, of cavers that paid bad and some paid good. Tell on, old man, as he eke out your jills. Tell of the people who lived here. Tell of a live thing with a pulse and a heart, of the village and the life you held dear. Aye, tell of the knock on the door in the dark, with his cap and his jacket in your hand. A big man it takes to break the sad news of a wife that the pits claimed a man. But tell of the club, with its golden rivers running, and the singing and the company and the cheer. Tell of the fun and the fights and the jokes. Tell of the miner and his beer. Stories of the crays and the whippets and the pigeons. Stovepipes draw happily away. Rough fingers touch green leaves and draw life from grey earth. Tales of giant leaks of other days. Tell on, old man, for your time isn't long. There's no pit to drain your spent hard burdens, but there's still fear hanging all around, and a hand stretches out for our homes. Old man, old pit, our village must go, careless of heartbreak and strife. They're moving us on to strange places in a town. So sing loud, old man, proud, old man, of your life. High Spen.